Today's Namaste Yoga is a beginner yoga class for flexibility. Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa West, and welcome to episode 273 of Namaste Yoga. Tim's got me perched on the side of a rocky hill for this episode. Thank you to Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes for today's show. I am wearing a long-sleeved bamboo top with the love emblem on it, and I'm also wearing long black leggings. And thanks to Dusky Leaf for my props. I've got a yoga mat here on this perch, and I'm got some blocks and some yoga strap. Today you may need a wall or a chair to help you with balancing poses today. So I have a testimonial for you today from Barbara from Queensland, Australia, from Facebook, and she says, "Oh, Melissa, I have been laid out looking at the ceiling for a week with chronic back pain. Apart from dragging myself to the acupuncturist, I was desperate until I found you. Thank you so much for your exercises. They have helped me when I couldn't leave the house. And now I am committing myself to classes every morning. The exercises are gentle, achievable, and restorative. Your generosity is incredible, and your nurturing demeanor is so encouraging. Once again, thank you, love and light, Barbara from Queensland, Australia." Thank you, Barbara, for that lovely comment. I'm so happy that you're feeling better, and thank you to all of you who take your time to leave your comments about your experience with Namaste Yoga. We love hearing from you on YouTube, Facebook, and on our website, and we always respond to all the comments. So thanks so much for leaving your comments. Okay, so for today's class, it is a beginner's class. So it's always a good idea to make sure you check with your doctor before you begin any movement program. And here's some important questions to ask your doctor. Is there anything that I should know with my medical condition before I begin a movement program? So anything that will make it better, anything that will make it worse, anything that I shouldn't be doing. Do I have your permission to begin a movement program? Also, if you have any injuries or illnesses, is there anything that I can't do when I begin a movement program? Find out exactly what you cannot do. What movements will make me better? What movements will make me worse? You need to know this exactly before you begin. And once you know that, then you can come to a yoga class. So for example, I've had whiplash in my neck, and I know now from experience that any kind of extension work in my neck, so if I bend my head backwards, it really exacerbates headaches and gives me migraines. So I know now not to do that. So these are the kinds of things that you need to know and have a conversation with your doctor before you come to your yoga mat. So if you have hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, sciatica, any disc issues, all these things you need to talk to your medical doctor about, your medical professional about, before you come to your yoga mat and know what you can and can't do. Okay, so that being said, let's go over what to expect in today's class. So you have a preview of the whole class, you know exactly what to expect. Okay, so we will be beginning with you lying on your back, and don't worry, we will go slow, and I will give you lots of instructions and lots of modifications on how to do every single thing. Then you will be coming into bridge pose here, and from there, we will be doing Anjaneyasana, lunge pose. And you're going to be doing it with a chest opener today. After lunge pose, we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to do standing with a chest opener. And then it might be useful to have a chair or a wall to hang on to for a balancing pose. And we just did a beginner class on balancing as well. If you're a little bit nervous about balancing, you might want to do that class first. We're going to do Nadarajasana, so dancer pose. And then after that, we're going to come down and we're just going to take our arms and legs in the air, and we're just going to do some wrist and ankle rotation. And then you're going to come onto your stomach, and you're going to do Sphinx pose for your upper back. And then you're going to do, we're going to stay here on your stomach, and we're going to actually rest your upper body down, and we're going to do some lengthening through your legs off the ground. And then we're going to finish seated. So you may want to sit in a chair for this if your hips are tight and it's uncomfortable to sit cross-legged or kneeling. And we're going to do some eye yoga. And I'll explain why afterwards. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to get you to begin by lying down. So let me talk you through how to lie down. So you're going to lie down on your back. And if you're pregnant, you need to lie on your side after the first trimester. You're going to tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. If you have any low back issues, bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, tuck your tailbone under, lift your pelvis, and then place it back down again. That'll just lengthen out through your low back. And then you can leave your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And if you don't have any low back issues, you may choose to lengthen your legs out again. Have your palms turned up beside you. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it fall out of your mouth. And allow yourself to arrive here now. So we're going to begin here with a guided relaxation, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the class. And the intention behind this part here is to transition you from the busyness of your day-to-day life and to start you focusing on your yoga practice. And also I'm going to be telling you about what we're going to be doing in your yoga class today here. So you're just going to lie here, let your body settle into the ground, and focus on your breathing. So breathe in and out through your nose. So you stay here. I'm going to sit up and explain a little bit more about what's going to happen in our class today. When we asked beginners what their biggest obstacle to learning yoga that they faced, many responded with a lack of flexibility. So the great news is that you don't have to be flexible to do yoga. You get to practice yoga to become flexible. As adults, we are confined to chairs, desks, couches, cars, public transportation, bikes, and we don't explore our world through movement the way we did as children. We have essentially stopped moving. Chairs, desks, computers, handheld devices, cell phones, rear view mirrors, rear view cameras, backup sensors, and remote controls all mean that we don't move. In our world, it is quite challenging to overcome all the moving that we don't do. Yoga is a great antidote to our sedentary and confined lifestyle. Katie Bowman uses the analogy of a body cast to describe how our bodies get stuck in certain positions from not moving. She describes how our muscles shorten and thicken and lose their range of motion, and how connective tissues grow between the muscles to form a cast between the unmoving parts. And I know our members will be really interested in that because we are doing tons of classes in our postures and pranayama section right now on the membership site to address this issue of connective tissue. So a computer screen, for example, holds the muscles of your eyes, and that's why we're going to do eye yoga later. Seats from chairs and couches and office chairs, cars, in public transportation on subways and buses, and even the configuration of your bicycle, they all hold your body in a casted, seated position. In this class, we will practice overcoming two of the most casted positions. Eyes from screens, so computer screens, handheld devices, cell phones, rear view mirrors, or the computer screens that help you see behind you in your car. I don't know what they're called because we have a really old car. We do not have these luxuries in our life. We still have to look behind us. But we use our rear view mirror, so, our eyes aren't moving that much more. And the parts of our bodies that are casted from sitting, so definitely our hip flexors, our chests, our shoulders, our upper backs. And then I've even also addressed the parts of our bodies that are casted from working on computer keyboards and also handheld devices like our cell phones and our iPads and iTouches and stuff, because these really fine motor movements that we do with the keyboards and the mouse and the our cell phones, they cause these really fine motor movements of our fingers and our hands, they cause our shoulders to stiffen. And we have a whole series on our membership site called Shoulder Shorts that address this. We go through big range of motion in your shoulders, and it helps to really loosen that up, that stiffness that you've got created from all those fine motor movements on your keyboard and your mouse and stuff. As you rest back and take in all this information on how your body is becoming stiff from all the not moving you're doing, all the casting that happens in your day-to-day life, and the good news about the way that you can practice yoga to move again, to create flexibility in your body, really more to create mobility in your body, mobility in your joints, and really to get moving again. Begin to form an intention of what it is you'd like to receive from this class. What would you like to create, sustain, release, or rebirth in your life? And then once you've formed your intention, continues to stay lying on your back. And if you have a yoga block, you can use the yoga block, or you can grab a couple of cushions from your couch and place them between your knees. You're going to bend your knees if they're not already bent and place them flat on the ground. You want to have good alignment from your ankles, knees, and hips, so there needs to be equal distance between all these joints. That's why I like to use the block here between your knees, because otherwise what tends to happen in this pose is your knees splay out. So that helps to keep that alignment between all these joints. And then in order to open up the parts of your bodies that become casted here, you're going to press into your feet and lift your hips off the ground so that you're opening up the front of your hips, and then you're also opening up your chest muscles here. So this is a great counter posture to sitting. And it opens up the front of your hips and it opens up your chest muscles. And then you can slowly lower down through your hips back onto the ground and take that block from between your legs or the cushions that you have. And you're going to bring your knees into your chest. Now make sure you make space for your body. So if you have a belly that gets in the way here, then you're going to open up your knees and make space for your belly. And if you have any knee injuries, you're going to hold on behind your knees here. And then you can slowly release your legs down and roll to your side and make your way up onto all fours. And we're going to do lunge pose. Okay, if you have any knee issues, then you might want to double up your padding underneath your knees for this one. So take a folded blanket or a cushion and put it underneath your knees. And again, it's always best to check in with your doctor about what you can do with weight bearing on your knees. So for this one, you're going to come onto your knees and then you're going to walk your left leg through. So walk your left leg forward. Take your hands on either side of your left foot and feel the weight on all the corners of your left foot, underneath your left big toe, underneath your baby toe, at the front of your left heel, at the front of your outside of your left heel. And then feel your shin on the ground, on your right shin. And then once you feel the whole ground, and if you're feeling any unsteadiness, you could always use a chair or the wall here. You're going to push into your front foot and come upright. And you want to feel an opening in the front of your right hip. So if you don't feel that, then you can always scoot your left foot forward more. Make sure your knee stays over your left ankle. So you get an opening in the front of your left hip. Again, you can hold onto the wall or a chair to help you with balance in this pose. You could also put blocks on either side of your foot. And then you're going to open up your arms behind you and lift them as much as you can in your body today to open up your chest. So you're getting that chest opening and you're getting the hip opening. Okay, and then make your way out and onto the other side. So step your left foot back. And then you're going to slowly step your right foot forward. So find your whole bottom of your right foot on the ground. And again, feel the ball joint behind your big right toe, behind your baby toe, the front of your right heel at the inside and the front of your right heel at the outside. So feel it like old-fashioned rollerblades, the four corners of your foot. And then feel your shin on the ground, your left shin on the ground at the back. And then press into your right foot and come upright. Feel the opening at the front of your left hip. And if you need help with balance, hold on to a wall or a chair. And then open your arms up around behind you. And open up your chest as well. And then you can release your arms and you can stay in this position, maybe just drag your front right foot back a bit, hold on to the wall or chair for balance. Put your hands on your right knee and then stand all the way up. Okay, from here, we're going to do a standing pose where you're going to open up your chest a little bit more. So you're going to take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. And relax your shoulders as much as possible. Just let your hands drop against your buttocks. Then look down at your feet. Line them up so the inner edges of your feet are parallel. Lift and spread your toes. And check that they're right underneath your hip bones. Reach your legs down long underneath you. Let your shoulders continue to be relaxed. And then open up your chest. You're going to keep your chin tucked. And the idea here is to do a back bend. So it's not a neck bend. This will keep your cervical spine safe, especially if you've had any neck injuries. So you keep it in your thoracic spine. That's the part of your spine that's connected to your rib cage. So you're going to start to lift your breastbone up towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to be big. And you can lift your arms as well. So mine don't lift very far because I have this frozen shoulder, so that limits my range of motion on that one side. But you can lift your breastbone up towards the ceiling and and that can create the back bend and keep your chin tucked so that your neck and cervical spine stays in line with your back. And then you get this nice counter pose to this. The way you probably often sit and the way the couch kind of curls you in that C curve that your spine gets put into. So it's just lifting your breastbone up towards the ceiling and then lifting your hands behind you as much as your shoulders allow you. Keeping your chin tucked. And then come back towards what feels more like normal for you. So straight up and down. And then here you may want to use a chair or a wall to help you with balance here because we're going to do a balancing pose. But what I'm more interested in here is the opening at the front of your hip than in this being a balance pose for you. So you're going to stand on your left leg, bend your right leg, and hold on to your right ankle if you can reach it, or inside of your foot. Actually, if you can do inside of your foot, do inside of your foot. The reason for that is that it's going to open up your chest more. And I like that to happen as well if we can, because then you're going to get a nice chest opener and a nice hip opener at the same time. So you're going to hold on to the inside edge of your foot, your arch, with your hand, and holding on to the wall or a chair, you're going to look down at your knee and make sure, and your leg, and make sure it lines up with the other leg and your knees pointing straight down. And then you're going to start to pull your heel away from your buttocks. So you're getting a nice stretch through your chest, but also pressing through the front of your hips. So you're getting a good stretch through your front of your hip too. And then you can lift your left arm up in front of you or continue to hold on to the wall or the chair. So this is dancer pose. And then you can find a way to let this posture out of your body, being just as careful coming out as you were going in. And then this time you're going to stand on your right leg. Again, hold onto a wall or a chair for balance, because we're more focused here on opening up the front of your hip and your chest than the balance aspect of this pose. And then you're going to hold on to the inside of your foot, the arch of your foot, with your left hand, and then look down at your leg and point your leg straight down. And press into the front of your hip. And then from here, you're going to start to move your heel away from your buttocks so that it opens up your chest. And then you can extend your right arm up. And then slowly allow yourself to come out of this posture after getting the opening at the front of your hips and at the front of your chest. And then we're going to come down to lie in your back and take your arms and legs straight up in the air. Get some nice mobility into your ankles and your wrists. I know that was something that beginners wanted too, is some joint mobility as well. So this is a nice inversion for you. So what tends to happen is all day long, gravity is working against our bodies by pulling blood flow down towards our feet. So in yoga, what we can do is go the opposite way by taking our arms and legs above our heart. So you're just going to take your arms and legs over your head and do some ankle circles and wrist circles. No big deal. And then reverse the direction of your circles. And then you can lower your arms and your legs down and roll over onto your stomach. And when you roll over onto your stomach, just wiggle your hips from side to side for a little bit while I put my mic on to release your low back. So you're just gonna wiggle your hips from side to side to loosen up your low back, to keep it nice and loose. And then you're going to lengthen through your low back by pressing your pelvis into the ground. And I'm going to get you guys to start with your arms straight out in front of you here. And I'm not going to do that because there's a lot of broken glass here. And then you're going to start to walk your elbows back underneath you until they come. And your arms will be parallel here. So your wrists and elbows will be parallel here. And I'm getting a little closer towards that, but this arm is stuck on internal rotation a little bit here. Your forearms are on the ground, your elbows are underneath you, and press into your forearms and your wrists, and you're bringing your upper back into extension. And this is such a great antidote to life. It's a great back bend, Sphinx pose. And I love this pose because we spend so much time rounded over our desks and our computers and our iPads and our cell phones. So this is a great way to go against that rounding. And one thing I really notice is I've been doing some supported Sphinx pose and resting over my bolster every day this week, and this pose is feeling so much easier. So doing these poses with props really helps your body to, you can positively cast your body too. So I've been doing that a lot lately, and it's really making a big difference because you can get stuck in that kyphosis, that hunched back. So I've been trying to counteract that with some positive casting, and it really works. Okay, and then you can slowly lower yourself down and just wiggle your hips from side to side here. And then from here, we're going to open up the fronts of your hips, so the parts of your body that get tight from sitting, where your legs are always bent at a 90-degree angle. So the focus here is not so much on how high you can lift your legs, but opening up the front of your hips. So you're going to stay long through your low back again, so reach your sit bones down towards your heels, and then lengthen long through your right leg until it reaches off the ground. And then you're going to slowly lower your right leg down. Just wiggle your hips from side to side again. Keep your low back nice and loose. And then you're going to breathe in again. Breathe out. Think about opening up through the front of your left hip. And then relax it down and wiggle your hips from side to side again. Okay, and then let's do that again. So open up through the front of your right hip. Relax your right leg down. Wiggle your hips. Then open up through the front of your left hip. Relax that down. Wiggle. And from here, you're going to push up onto all fours. And draw your knees up underneath you. And again, make space for your body so you can always open your knees. Sit back onto your heels. You can have your arms all the way forward and lean back so you get a good stretch through your low back here. And if this position doesn't work for your knees and your ankles, then you can always go back to lying on your back and hugging your knees into your chest here. And then slowly make your way up to seated. And you're going to come into a comfortable seated position. Now I would encourage you to sit in a chair or sit with your back against the wall, if that works best for you. See what works best in your body today. And we're going to do some eye yoga now because your eye muscles get really weak too from being held in one position against a screen. Because we look at computer screens all day or our phones, and they don't get a lot of movement. And even when you're in your cars, you rely on this mirror, and your screens in your cars to tell you what's happening. And ladies, the more eye yoga, or gentlemen too, you probably care about this as well. The more eye yoga you do, the better it is also for your wrinkles on your face, or lack of wrinkles on your face. Actually, Tim just made a ton of wrinkles on his forehead now, and that's what I'm talking about. Because if you have more strength in the muscles of your eyes, then you can be expressive with your eyes rather than doing this all the time when you talk, which creates a lot of wrinkles in your forehead. So you can, if you have strength in your eye muscles, these can do the expression rather than what happens. You see people over time, their eyes get droopy, and then there's no expression left in here. They have to make all the expression in their forehead. So I do eye yoga every single day. I'll admit it, I'm vain, but I'm on video camera almost every day. So I would prefer my eyes to do the expressing rather than all of this. And I know I do a fair amount of expressing through my forehead. So we're going to do some eye yoga, but we're going to do it. The intention behind it is altruistic. It's because of the screens. So here we go. We're going to start by, you have to keep your head really still when you do this, and take off any eyeglasses that you're wearing. And if you have contact lenses on, you really do need to take those out as well. So pause your video and go get prepared. Keep your head still. It could be useful to do this in front of a mirror so that you can watch yourself too. Okay, so you're going to inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. 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 And then you're going to inhale, look left. Exhale, look right. 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 Now we're going to circle your eyes all the way around. And try and go in as big circles as you can. And try and get every crack, every part of the circle. So that if you were making a circle with beautiful felt tip markers or paints, there would be no open holes in your circle. And it would be really smooth, beautiful circle. And then you're going to circle the other way. Okay, and come back to the center. Close your eyes. Rub your hands. And then place your palms over your hands and let that really soothe your eyes. And then bring your palms out in front of you and focus on your palms. Then open your eyes, open your palms and focus in the distance as far as you can. And then bring your palms and close them in front of your eyes. Focus on your palms. And now focus on the distance as far as you can. So we don't do too much focusing on the horizon. And if you watch, I have a really good blog post on this about 3 ways to improve your balance in everyday life. And one of these is to make sure you focus on the horizon rather than up close. This will help you to focus on to improve your balance too. So focus on your palms. Focus on the horizon as far away as you can in your setting. And then one more time, rub your palms together again. Close your eyes, allow them to be bathed in darkness so that your eyes really relax. And then rest your palms over them again and let that soothe your eyes. So I'd encourage you to practice those eye yoga exercises once a day, maybe when you get up and you're getting ready in the bathroom. That's when I do it. Okay, and now you're going to lie down on your back and rest back for Shavasana. This is the most important part of your class because it allows your body and your mind and your spirit to receive and integrate everything that you've just done. So I will go over the instructions on how to lie down again. If you have any back issues, you want to lie with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. If you're pregnant after the first trimester, you want to lie down on your side. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Press into your feet, lengthen out through your tailbone. If you don't have any back issues, you can lengthen out through your legs. You may want to put a bolster underneath your knees. That's nice for energy flow. Turn your palms up beside you. And allow yourself to rest back here, to receive everything that your body's done, to allow your mind to receive the teachings, to allow your energy to rest, and just generally to allow yourself to integrate what's come before. I'm going to sit up now while you rest back to read you a poem. Today I have a poem from Mary Oliver. I think it's probably an excerpt, more likely an excerpt from one of her poems. Just a couple of lines that I think speak to this idea of being casted in chairs and computer screens. If it resonates with you, great, then allow it to sink in and really be with the words. And if it doesn't speak to you, then you can just let it go. And who will care? Who will chide you if you wander away from wherever you are to look for your soul? Quickly then get up, put on your coat, leave your desk. To sit down like a weed among weeds and rustle in the wind. It's so short, I'm going to read it twice. And who will care? Who will chide you if you wander away from wherever you are to look for your soul? Quickly then get up, put on your coat, leave your desk. To sit down like a weed among weeds and rustle in the wind. If you have more time, press pause on the video and rest back for as long as you can in Shavasana. And then after 5, 10, or 20 minutes in Shavasana, press play again. Gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. Pause there. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. And slowly make your way up to seated. Thank you for joining me for episode 273 of Namaste Yoga. If you liked today's show, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. When we get to 25,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a giveaway. I showed you the mala beads that we're giving away last week that I made at a workshop. They're really pretty. I didn't bring them. I did bring them today, but they're offset. And if you know somebody who would benefit from today's show or you think would like it, then feel free to send it to a friend, a family member, or a coworker. And if you'd like to do another beginner's yoga class, then we have almost 30 beginner's yoga classes now. We'll link to them in the show notes. And you can check those out. You may also be interested in becoming a member. We have loads more value-added content. I talked about it, some of it now. We're creating a new section in our membership site now that we've started to add content to. There'll be 4 classes in that section at the end of this week where it's called Postures and Pranayam. It's for beginners, although we go very in-depth in each pose. The idea is that we're going to do one pose at a time and show everything about it, the benefits, the contraindications. We're showing the Hindu deities associated with it, the chakras. We're doing connective tissue practices with each one. We're doing, what else are we doing with them, Tim? We're doing, anyway, everything, Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic practices, archetypes, shadows. We're doing everything you could think about that you would want to know about a posture is going to be in that section. So it's great for beginners to really learn everything there is to know about a pose. And that's in our membership site. So we'd love to have you as a part of our membership site where we give you that kind of high level value added content. And we have like-minded yogis from all around the world. I just finished interviewing one from our first member ever, actually, Linda from the Netherlands yesterday, and she spoke about her practice, and it was great. We interview one of our members every week, and it's great to get to know them. It's like a podcast on our membership site, and also where we give you support for your personal practice. So weekly challenges every week and lots of cool things to support you in your practice. A book club, tons of great stuff. Also, if you live in Victoria, BC, and you'd like to be on the show, we'd love to have you here. It's a great way for us to be able to facilitate teaching, and you get to be in all these really great Victoria locations, and we'd love to meet you and have you here. So thank you so much again for being with us, and we will see you next week. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the trees in our forest, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.